The first item for consideration is H.R. 5205, the Northern Nevada Land Conservation and Economic Development Act, authored by our colleague and former member of this committee from Nevada, Mr. Amedee. I ask unanimous consent that the bill be considered read and open for amendment at any point. Without objection, so ordered. I'll now recognize myself for 5 minutes to explain the legislation. H.R. 5205, the Northern Nevada Land Conservation and Economic Development Act, is a bill introduced by a former committee member, as I mentioned, Mr. Amedee, and co-sponsored by another member former member of this committee, Mr. Horsford. It is also sponsored by Mr. Heck and Mrs. Titus, in other words, the entire Nevada delegation. It combines 7 bills addressing federal land issues in Northern Nevada. This compilation of Northern Nevada land bills exclusively addresses land issues in Northern Nevada and prescribe the preferred or best use, management, or appropriately designate, address, and resolve longstanding issues within the affected federal lands. This bill refines a compilation of bills that were reported out of this committee in January as Committee Print 113-1 and is a product of tireless negotiations with stakeholders and the Nevada Congressional Delegation. Committee Print 113-1 was never officially filed as the affected stakeholders and the Nevada delegation requested changes to reflect a broader compromise in order to provide a balanced or complementary approach to the proposed wilderness bills. In other words, the reason we're really having this markup is because, as you know, I feel we should do regular order, and after this bill came out of committee, there were some changes that the Nevada delegation wanted, and rather than throwing that out on the floor without coming back here, this is simply a means to go through regular order. So that's the statement. I'll now recognize the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Grijalva, for his statement on the bill.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This legislation is a comprehensive package of bills that deal with various public land issues in northern Nevada. This is the second time we've seen the legislation. The first time it stalled over some controversial provisions in the original bill. We want to thank the majority for going back to the drawing board to redraft some of those controversial language that was in the bill. We're pleased that the bill contains the text of the Lyon County Economic Development Act. This is a top priority for Congressman Horsford, and while he is no longer the committee, we appreciate very much seeing his legislation move forward. Apart from transferring some land out of federal ownership, H.R. 5205 establishes nearly 40,000 acres of new wilderness. The bill contains language that authorizes mechanical thinning in the new wilderness area if it is for the purpose of mitigating wildfires. This is a new precedent for wilderness management, and we look forward to working with the majority and the Senate to improve the language on this section. That being said, it's encouraging and appreciated to know that the majority is willing to advance wilderness legislation, and with that I yield back and support the legislation.
Does any other member wish to speak on the legislation? If not, we'll go to the amendment process. Mr. Bishop has amendment number 1. It's in your folders, and I recognize the gentleman from Utah, Mr. Bishop, to explain the amendment.
This amendment is technical and conforming in nature, and I won't really bore you with the rest of the details. It is a technical amendment.
Any further discussion on the amendment? If not, the question is on the amendment offered by the gentleman from Utah, Mr. Bishop. As many as are in favor will signify by saying aye. Those opposed will say no. Opinion chair, the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Amendment is agreed to. Are there further amendments? If not, the question is on favor of reporting H.R. 5205 as amended to the House. As many as are in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed will say no. Opinion chair, the ayes have it. The ayes have it. And the bill is favorably reported to the House. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.